Good evening, everybody, and welcome to GrayManPrepping. It is time for Tactical Tuesday, and we're going to talk a little bit of tactics, but mostly gear, because tonight's topic is archery for you? How's everybody doing out there? Let me jump over here to the comments so I can actually say hi to everybody. Okay, let's see. So first one in was Shady Hill Homestead, followed by Walt Rogers, and Walt kind of repeats my sentiment exactly the same. You know how I love my firearms, but sometimes I love bows and arrows too. Much quieter. Yep. And then third was It's the Marshmallow Man. Fourth was Phelan Klein Wolf. Sue Me was fifth. Tammy Harder came in next, and Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. Mark at Mad Chick Acres is up at his cabin property up there, and he all has his phone, no other internet up there, so he's not coming up tonight. Kaylin Strain is here. Diana 2 is lurking. And Gunslinger Outdoors. I put this up here. I always have my Top Bowls folding bow with me. Never know when it'll be needed. And my Henry U.S. Survival. Yep. That's not a bow. No, the Henry's not a bow, but you got to always have your backups to your backups. All right. Next was Jay came in next. Oh, that's as bad as me. But it hasn't been 20 years since I last shot a bow, but I have brand new shafts ready to go on them that I haven't even tested out. So, and Moon Over Miami's here. Oh, that's why Mark's not coming up there. His mini fridge door popped open, crammed it too full, and drained his jackery to 15%. iPad is dead. Oops. And let's see. The huge wildfire in Wyoming. There's huge wildfires all over. Most of them don't get much press, but I saw a thing on that one. All right. So we're going to cover a little bit of history here today. And then I'm going to bring up some, actually, I'm going to go ahead and get something here set up here. Where is it? There it is. I got to pull something off over to the side here and get it ready to go. All right. So let's get back here to this and cool. Just so long as that box doesn't get bent in storage. All righty, so let's pop back over here. Here we go. And there we go. Archery is for everybody, male and female. In fact, I've seen a few reels, and I couldn't find one I wanted to show you, where the lady shooting in it, doing a bunch of little trick stunts and stuff, it shoots better than those in Olympic competition. She was shooting through a straw and went and hit the target, had the straw trapped between the target and the feathers. And of course, there's always a real cool artwork about archery and stuff around and about. But archery became very popular back when Earl Flynn and de Havilland did Robin Hood. And this was the first time that there was a major change in archery worldwide. prior to this, I'll show you how people used to shoot and stuff. But this is the first time they started using the new targets that were set up for the Olympics. Because originally when archery was in the Olympics, it was sort of like a free-for-all. You weren't just shooting at a static target. You were shooting at moving objects. You were shooting, there was a bunch of different things going on, and there was no standardization in it. So after several times, they kicked it out of the Olympics because, well, it's not standardized. It's hard to judge it. Hey, Howie. And so, and this one they showed the first circle targets with the color coding on it, which was the first time in history those were being used in real life, and they stuck it in the movie, showing something that was supposedly historical, which wasn't. It's also when they started shooting what's called offhanded, where the arrow is on the offhand side rather than being over on the thumb. They put it over on the other side, and you can't just draw and shoot. You got to put it over, reach around, and grab hold of it. All right, and then of course, even Rambo used bow and arrows, and of course we had we had the Hunger Games, and Legolas from Lord of the Rings, and of course you can't forget Disney with Brave. And of course, then Avatar. With the interesting thing about Avatar here, if you notice the way they're shooting is, so they're holding the bow. They take the arrow and they put it up, and then their hand is upside down doing or something on it. So it's really weird how they're doing it. And I'm going to go back to that. But some of the studio people say, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't shoot like that." And Cameron goes, "Yeah, you can." He picked it up. He'd never shot like that. He picked it up and shot like it, and nailed the target. You'll see, he acted like it was no big deal. And he said, "Oh wow, it's." After he was saying, "Yeah, I was so nervous I was going to miss, but it's actually comfortable." So, anyways, my old friend Gary Teixeira's in the house. Yeah, Gary and I used to go up during archery season up around Bassett's, Packer Saddle, and Sierraville up there, and during bow season. And if we got one, we got one. If not, we scouted it out for where we're going to be for rifle season. Jack is here for Geeky Gardens. And of course, there is the uber archer of the cinema. Better than Robin Hood ever thought of being. Hawkeye. And then for the small screen, there is Oliver Williams, aka the Arrow or Green Arrow. And then forget her name now. She's also from the Arrowverse, and she was using the crossbow pistols. But crossbows are another thing besides upright bows for those that have a hard time pulling the bow and holding it. And crossbows work great because basically you cock it and then you hold it like a rifle and you can go on it. This is from the TV show Into the Badlands, which I thought was really cool. And then of course you have Van Helsing with the scientifically impossible repeating crossbow. I believe it had something like 40 rounds in that thing. And let's see here. More modern ones here. And so this is what quote the modern crossbow looked like up until a few years ago. Now it looks like that. When it cocks back, they have several of them now. The ballistic bat was one of the first ones where it folds back and it's not sticking out wide like the other. So it's a sort of like a breaking compound bow. And so you can, if you're going through the woods hunting turkeys or deer or whatever, you don't have the bow sticking out there bumping trees as you go through. This is a cross pistol, and this is a longbow, a big crossbow. Crossbows first came into popular use in jolly old England and France, back when the English longbow was making short work, pardon the pun, longbow short work, of the French, because back then everybody had a bow and everybody had the longbow. And what's great about the longbow is you pull it back, it had a lot, because it's big and long, it had a lot of kinetic energy, and the English longbow would go a lot farther than the French bow would. And therefore they were taking out the French soldiers before they get in range to use their bows on the English. And then because they made the crossbow so more effective was they didn't take much training on it. They can mass produce the crossbow, and give it to somebody. They pulled it back, cocked it, put the arrow in, and then they could relax and shoot. Granted, the speed of it wasn't nearly enough, but it could outshoot the longbow. And if you had a knight in your target and you had a steel tip on it, or iron tip, it'd punch hole through the metal armor and through the chain mail. Sort of like this. And they had all sorts of heads for the arrows back in the day, in the medieval times. And they each had certain things to do. Some of those look pretty daggone vicious. The one on the bottom, actually the two on the bottom were made for punching through armor and chain mail. Hey, Tibor, how's it going? Okay, so that's the last of that. But I want to show you something in modern times that is really cool. So give me a second to get this out of the way and get this other one here up. Okay, so do the short one first. And then I'll do the long one there. Okay. So mute sound on it. That's set. Mute the sound. Make it big. All right, this is Lars Anderson from Finland? Shoot, I forget. Over there in Europe. He's a painter, and he took up archery as a hobby. So let me bring this over here. So basically, they're going to say, is it possible to shoot a drop of water, and there's the drop in the middle of the picture, in midair with an arrow? Okay. So here he is. Watch what he does here through the keyhole with it. There he shoots through the center of the record. He bounces them off of things and takes it out. There's all sorts of trick shots. He shoots stuff while in the air. And this goes over, you really got to listen to it, but I'm not going to play the sound here. What I am going to do is I'm going to put the link to it down here in a minute so you guys can watch this on your own. And they're really cool stuff there. And here he's hanging upside down doing it. This guy does all sorts of amazing things. But and that's the way it was prior to 1931 when they, the Olympics came in and said, "Oh, okay, you got to use a standard around target." But what he does is amazing. Bouncing arrows around and doing all sorts of cool stuff. And so the target shooting was originally for aristocrats. Okay, we're freezing up here on the video portion of it. Okay, it's coming back. So give it a second. It should come back to you. Yeah. So hang on here. Let me pull over here and clear that there. And this is the link for that video. So I'm going to put 2 links up here. That's the one you just saw. And this other one is for of him and stuff. He does some amazing things in this one here. You should watch this one too. Coming up here, there's the link for the second one. And let me make that large so I can kick it off. And there's certain things you can pick up watching this. I'll try to talk about it, but just in case YouTube, without sound, YouTube's less likely to go, "Oh, you can't put it up there, you're going to get a copyright." So, all right, so locked up again. Hang on here. Oh, there he goes again. All right, there we go. Started again. There. Freezing up again here. All right, just missed something really cool here on it. Explaining. Go back here a little bit here. See if it'll pick up on it here. Just hang it. Hang on. This thing's acting up here. Come on. Hang on. Got a problem here. Okay. Not sure what's going on. There are some points in here, but not sure what's going on here. It's Yeah. Oh, well, it's just not doing it right. So, anyways, you go watch it on here. I got it's the laptop just can't keep up with everything. Yeah. So it won't link up right now without pausing all the time. He does stuff like catching an arrow in air, jumping up, catching it, and firing it before he hits the ground again. And he has shot. I'm seeing if I can find the one where he shoots the arrow out of the air. And yeah, I'm just not going to show it, but I can't find it right now. But this is a really good instructional video showing how things are supposed to be done with archery and not being done. So if you want to really learn archery, don't go to use the ones where, oh, you got to put it on the left side. No, you want to put it on the right side if you want to shoot properly and be able to shoot while moving. So that is cool, Tibor. But yeah, archery is relatively quiet. You don't have a gunshot going off, but alerting everybody in the area to where you're at. And depending on the type of bow you're using, the animal you're trying to harvest isn't going to hear it. So it's really cool to use that way as far as what it can do there. I tried to get, I put a message out for Juliana, Jujubee. She's been posting pictures of her and her family doing shooting bows this week, and she's on Facebook. But she could do like I do sometimes. I'll leave Facebook up and I'll go out and work in the yard for an hour or two, and everybody thinks I'm on Facebook, and I'm not. It's just sitting there on the computer. So. Let's see. Something else I was going to show you guys here. Well, I got it here. So I showed you some of the historical arrowhead tips. There is a whole bunch of different type tips available. And you got practice arrow tips. I mean, all these different types and stuff. Some of these I'll show, other ones, I'll find bigger ones of them. There are ones for fishing. There are ones for that have blunt heads for, hitting an animal in the head and killing it like a squirrel or a rabbit. So, yeah, there are literally hundreds of types. And one like this one here, where it's got a fluted edge on it, goes in as it turns and cuts bigger hole going in. And so even if the arrow stays in, it's got a bigger hole cut, and it'll help the animal bleed out quicker, so you don't have to track it down a long way. Let's see. So you got bullet point, blunt point, field point, judo point, which has little spring brackets on it, fish point. Basically, it has some things on it, so when it goes in, those bend down, and once they're through the fish, they spring back open, so it traps the fish. So there's a whole bunch of different types to use. And then when you get to the broadheads, I've seen at least 50, 60 different types of broadheads. So some of the old school ones, some of the flint. So there is There's a big one of the they call it the judo point. And let's see if we can find some of the others here. You know, archery is good when you got somebody, you got all the different type people and hats out there. The boonie hats, the ball caps, the other type hats. There was one I thought I was going to find that I had a couple guys in cowboy hats out there doing it. Kind of makes kind of a weird sense of humor. Cowboys using bows and arrows. But you see these archers with all these balancing doodads and everything else on it. And you got guys like Lars Anderson and that girl. I've seen several of her reels. I'm not sure it's the same one that Tibor was talking about. Is that they don't have all that balance stuff on it. They got a bow of double-sided wrist, so they can shoot with either hand. And that's the thing. Older archers, I'm talking about back in 1800s and earlier, shot both-handed. That was one of the things you had to be able to shoot both-handed. And they shoot better than these guys at the Olympics with these ones that are out there. Okay. And they let it go. You get someone like Lars Anderson or the other guy out there, and all three really tight. I really wanted to show you the one where Lars was out there standing. The guy shoots an arrow and he splits the arrow in the air, not in the target, in the air, moving. He splits it like does a Robin Hood. Thanks, Tibor. Let's see, and of course you got the you got to have a repair kit to fix the fletchings and everything on the arrows. Back when I got my Anita Eagle, the place had just was just getting in and stocking the carbon fiber bows, carbon fiber arrows. And he goes, "This thing is so cool." And he went up into the balcony area and shot down at the concrete, bounced it off the concrete and hit the target. He goes, and the shaft is still good. Carbon fiber is great. It's like, cool. Yeah. That double shelf bows are, yeah. There we go. I'm trying to remember who was it just the composite? No, it was a composite, but it was the recurve on it and short that the Genghis Khan's Mongols used on horseback. But I got several of the regular old-fashioned, regular just a bow for teaching my grandsons how to shoot bows and arrows. Yeah. So there is a lot to be said for what you can do with a good bow and arrow, especially if you need to be quiet after SHTF to harvest food for your family. These, yeah. And then the Japanese take it really weird. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of it here. Hang on a second here. Okay, here we go. This is the Big Daddy one. See how it's short on the one side and tall on the other. And yeah, and they got some shorter ones that are set the same way that were set up for riding on horseback as well. Trying to find the other one here for you. Dang, can't find it. Give me a second here. I know where I can find it. Thought I had it in here. Hang on, I'm trying to find the one to show you here. There we go. There's the name of it. I can bring it up here. All right. So this is the Yami Hanku bow, which is shorter than that big long monster, but it's short on the bottom and longer on top. And they would use this also for the samurai would use this from horseback, as well as standing as well. And they have a very unique way of shooting it. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Cool. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter uses a bow. My oldest son uses a bow. My youngest son got the archery merit badge at scout camp, like the older son did. He really doesn't like bows, but you put a lever action in his hand, and he's like, "Dang, you didn't even have a scope on that, and you nailed it that far out." Yeah. Well, shoot, I thought I was going to have more people up here and let them talk about their experience with bows and stuff. But yeah, the others haven't come in. But yeah, there are some really great books on it. You want historical books? There are two books that are mentioned in those two videos I posted from Lars Anderson. That if you have a chance to get those, it's to do some research on it to figure out what you're going to be doing. Okay, that's trying to find the thing here again. Oh well, yeah, my computer's not helping much here. Oh, more than one way to do it. There it is. So I'm gonna those two back up. So once again, I'm put the links up here to the different videos here. So you guys, and that one, there we go. And we put the name of it up there. There you go. So there's the first one that I showed you. It's only a 2-minute video. Maybe it's going to post. There it is. Okay, that's that one, and then the other one. And this is there we go. I'm sorry, I'm just getting this posted here for you guys. There's the second one, the longer one. The second one really talks a little bit more about the stuff doing, and shows I'm doing a lot of the cool shots that are just, you're like, how? But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right now I got a couple of the youth bows for my grandsons to work with, and but yeah, it's yeah, I had to work up to be able to use my my Anita Eagle with the 65-pound pull on it. All right. So what type would you recommend for a person to have an SHTF? Actually, for unless you're going to be going out shooting a lot, I'm going to say a crossbow. I love my Anita Eagle, but the a crossbow, it has, some of them have the lever action, so you're not putting all the strain on your shoulders and stuff. You can cock it, you put the bolt in there, the arrow, and you hold it like a gun. So you hold it, you brace it up against the shoulder. And also, there is air rifles that are designed, the pre-charged pneumatics to fire arrows specifically. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, so yeah, you Google air rifle. You got the Umarax Air Saber pre-charged pneumatic one. That's available on Amazon. There's several. They list several of the Umarax here: Dragon Claw, Air Javelin. So there are several of them out there that you can get to that are pre-charged pneumatics that shoot arrows. So, but they don't have the actual bow on it. It is an arrow shooting air rifle. So, but air rifles are a whole nother story now, especially we have ones that shoot 72 caliber and bring down a moose that are not, quote, firearms. But crossbows, they also have some really nice cross pistols. Let me bring this back up again. And so you got the ballistic bat, which is a cross pistol with the a pistol grip in front, so you got stabilization on it. Has the foot brace there and the pulling mechanism to do it. Not sure this one, what type of mechanism. I really can't see the mechanism on this one here. but some of them have the other mechanisms on it. Let me see if I can get it up here. For you here. No. Started looking here, and it popped up. I started looking for crossbows with lever cocking. It came up with hand crank. So some of them have a crank to do it. Let's do lever cocking. Or cocking lever. And you get a bunch of them up there. Everywhere, anything from $1,000. Cheapest one here is $256. But there are probably a lot more and stuff. $199 at Cabela's for one. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones. That the ballistic bat is $400. So what, you can shop around. Don't buy right off the top of your head. I don't go, oh, this looks cool, I'm going to get that. Yeah, stay on the light side. You don't have to have, the 65-pound bow to bring down a deer, a rabbit, or an intruder. Heck, a 35-pound bow or a 25-pound bow, if you're good with it, you can bring down an intruder really quick. Kind of hard for them to do anything with an arrow sticking out of their Adam's apple. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up here now. Go ahead and take that down. And get that up there. Oh, and just for laughs and giggles, let everybody know, the coming up here on Tactical Tuesday, the November 12th, the topic that far out, and I just want to let everybody know about is I'm going to be talking about my novels and how you can get one for free. All right, and one of the things that is kind of cute, and hopefully I'm trying to we'll have this one here, have it done here. If I can get to stop here on it. And that's the lead in for book 2 of The Scout and the Ninja. Oh, yep, she uses a bow. All right, coming up here this week here. Thursday is the Midnight Ride at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, which makes it midnight in Rio de Janeiro. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound is extending your growing season. We're going to talk about both fall and spring, extending your growing season. Saturday here on GrayManPrepping for Survival Saturday is Attitude Matters. And I got some emails on different people's examples of people preppers doing smart and dumb stuff because of their attitude. And so that's what's come up there. Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound is we're going to talk about canning broths. And at that point, I'll be back in Idaho. And next Tuesday, for Tactical Tuesday, emergency communication. What's your gear? So that's what we're going to be talking about coming up here this next week. Just check things. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Tibor, thanks for all your help on it. It's good to have someone that does archery more than I do, pointing things out. All right. So everyone, remember, stay happy, No matter what life throws at you, stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill, such as archery. And work on doing an indoor garden, because on January 1st, the indoor garden challenge kicks off. And get a jump on it so that on January 1st, you can start harvesting. All right, everyone. See you around.